Markets just took a big dip, including Tesla, and I don't have a clue why. So if you know why, please let me know in the comments below. This is 7:33 California time that we just saw this dip. And I tried everything. I looked at all my best resources, and none of them had anything. But maybe something popped that I'm just not aware of. By the way, I'm going to start doing this on a daily basis unless you tell me that I'm jinxing it. Now, I don't remember from when I was a little kid, what all the rules are of jinxing. I do remember things in baseball, like, when somebody's going for the no-hitter and, you don't want to say anything about it in the seventh inning, eighth inning, et cetera, because that'll jinx it. So I remember that jinxing rule, but here's my announcement. It's day 17 of the Robotaxi rollout, and there are no headlines regarding any issues in Austin today. So we've had the one situation where the car rubbed up against a tire of another vehicle. That's not good. And we've had all the other minor incidents, probably the most important one being where there was an attempted left turn. The left turn was aborted, going back straight into the opposing lane and staying in that opposing lane for quite a while. And then eventually getting over into the correct lane. There was no traffic coming the opposite way, so no harm, no foul. But that, I think, would be, in my opinion, the most critical kind of mistake any robotaxi has made that we've seen so far, and none in quite a while. So let me know if I'm missing anything. I'm trying to keep track. And nothing in a few days. So again, and also please let me know about jinxing, because I wouldn't want to go against the jinxing rules. Several prognosticators have predicted that Q3 would be record-breaking deliveries for Tesla. And that was prior to us knowing that the $7,500 tax benefit, or the $7,500 incentive, would go away on September 30th instead of in January, or go away at all. There was, until the big beautiful bill passed, we didn't know when it would expire or if it would expire. So, but now we have that fact. And so for me, that would say we're going to definitely be seeing a big pickup in sales as people try to get ahead of that. Now, helping that will be the tax deductibility of auto vehicle interest. And that should be particularly useful for luxury vehicles, since it's going to be way more money that's going to be saved on your taxes if you're buying a $60,000 vehicle versus a $30,000 vehicle. And also, people who buy $60,000 vehicles would tend to be more concerned and interested in tax deductibility. People that make less than $100,000 a year are much more likely to be taking the automatic deductions and not get this additional number. Now, I haven't looked at it. Let me know in the comments. Is this over and above? I know from time to time you get the automatic tax deduction and then something is over and above. I don't think this is one of those, but let me know in the comments if it is. Also, but maybe most importantly, Elon Musk is now the head. He's the top guy when it comes to US and European sales for Tesla. So there's going to be an Elon Musk type focus on sales. Now you say, well, what does that mean? Well, when Elon focuses, it tends to make things happen. I know that you probably get tired of me making comparisons of my own entrepreneurial past to Elon, or maybe you don't. Maybe you think it's extremely relevant. I know that I always thought about it in terms of 5 critical areas of the company, and it just turns out that in any given year, I could really only concentrate on 3. So it might be receivables one year, it might be sales of domestic sales another year, it might be international sales. Anyway, as I went, and all of a sudden the year would be almost over, and I'd be, okay, why aren't we doing as better than I thought we would do? Oh, I haven't spent any time in this area because it kind of got away from me. Well, right now, Elon is going to focus on domestic US or North American and European sales. And I'm just expecting that there will be some benefit out of that, and it's going to show up in the third quarter. So I've said it already. I'm going to say it again. I think we will sell out. I don't think you will be able to. I think there'll be waiting lines. And remember, the car has to be actually signed off. You have to own the car. You have to have the paperwork by September 30th in order to continue to get the $7,500 deduction. You can't just put an order in on September 30th. So you have to get ahead of that. People are saying, oh, but auto sales, vehicle sales don't matter anymore. But actually, we've just seen on July 2nd that they do. The stock is still down, partially at least because of the numbers being low. Even though they were better than expected, they were still low. And the stock is definitely reacting and responding to auto sales even now, even in these times. So I think on October 2nd, and even between now and October 2nd, as we see China numbers, by the way, China numbers for the first week were 5,000. That's normal as exports are emphasized in the first week of the quarter. But as we see China sales and we see that they're good or better or whatever, as we get closer to October, we'll be getting information about European sales and even U.S. sales over that time. If they're better than expected and people start increasing their estimates, that's going to help the stock. And in a world where energy storage numbers are lumpy, and they were much lower than I expected, and I think than probably you expected in this last report, coming in at only at less than 10 gigawatt hours. I'm thinking that this next quarter, they're probably going to be closer to 15 gigawatt hours. So that would be another big deal if true. Yahoo Finance has this morning. It says, despite mounting headwinds and technical signals flashing red, RBC Capital Markets analyst Tom Narayan says in the recent Tesla sell-off has gone too far. It's gone too far. In a note that he sent out to clients, Narayan reiterated his outperform rating and raised his price target to 319, up from where he was at 307. And that implies about a 7% upside from our current prices. So we're sitting about 295 this morning. He's talking about 319. He says, we believe, this is a quote, we believe there is strong demand for Tesla products, even in the face of more EV competition. Tesla's lead, profits, cash generation, and currency are major advantages that help to fund growth. RBC values Tesla's core car business as 1x sales. So sales are about 900 billion, I think. Wait, is that right? 900? No, I'm sorry, 90 billion, 90 billion. So he's basing his valuation of, I guess, about 90 billion for car sales, because premium weight to its long-term plays like megapack energy storage systems, autonomous driving, and AI. And I guess he means robotics. Optimus. The firm applies a 15x multiple to the 2040 estimated EBITDA for megapacks and a 10x revenue multiple to Tesla's future robotaxi and humanoid robot operations. The long-term picture, Narayan argued, justifies holding through the current rough patch, but not everybody's buying it. Tesla stock has dropped over 20% year over year, according to Adam Turnquist, LPL Financial's chief technical strategist. Short-term technical indicators suggest further dips in the stock. The stock is also underperforming compared to Magnificent Seven peers like NVIDIA. That's true. Narayan sees opportunity. RBC projects Tesla's revenue will rebound to 111 billion by 2026. It'll be way higher than that in 2026, and might even be close to that this year, because the second half is going to be way stronger than people are expecting. He says that will be up from an estimated 93.5 billion currently for this year. Adjusted earnings per share are expected to rise in that period from $1.99 in 2025 to $2.99 in 2026. I think that's low too. But anyway, I'm an optimist. Those gains will be fueled by expanding production, new product launches, and higher margin growth from non-automotive businesses. I see higher margin growth in automotive businesses as we get to sold out condition, maybe forever. And we've talked about that over and over and over again, but that's going to raise margins in the automotive business. And these other businesses are all much higher margin that are coming on board, like, for instance, robotaxis, Optimus, and semi-trucks. Narayan also pointed to a potential boost from Tesla's robotaxi, which could reinvigorate investor enthusiasm around its full self-driving ambitions. Tesla is an EV poster child, RBC argued. Piper Sandler analysts recently called the company the most transformative company in autos, noting that in the long run, it will ultimately win. No, it's the most transformative company in history and in transportation, which is both bigger than just autos. Still, RBC flags several risks, including volatile earnings, cost inflation, no, and supply chain hiccups. There's no cost inflation and supply chain hiccups. I don't know where he's getting supply chain hiccups. What is that even coming from? The firm also notes that Tesla's business is cyclical, vulnerable to broader economic slowdowns, especially if rising interest rates or geopolitical shocks weigh in on consumer spending. Yeah, but there's none of those really on the horizon. And of course, there's Elon Musk. Now, that one we have to agree to. The Tesla CEO has drawn fresh scrutiny from posting political and divisive comments online. Elon? Raising questions about the company's governance and long-term brand strength. The unpredictability continues to be a wild card for investors, but for now, RBC is holding firm. Quote, company and quarterly results may be lumpy due to timing and a variety of manufacturing issues, which could cause stock price volatility, Narayan noted. However, Tesla is a growth company. Then Alexandra has this morning. She says, she's searched for posts by Elon between January and April of this year, where he discussed Tesla's valuation and future goals. Remember, we learned late April that the board set up a special committee to work on Elon's compensation package. So he had these notes. He says, Tesla has the potential to be number one by a large margin, as he lists the various top companies by market cap at the time. NVIDIA was 3.6 trillion, Apple 3.4, Microsoft 2.3, Amazon 2.5, Alphabet 2.4. So he was listing all of those and giving his saying, well, no, Tesla has the potential to be bigger than any of them. Then she also posts this from Elon Musk: the long-term outcome for Tesla is very high. And then on another date, he says, it will require outstanding execution, but I think more like 1,000% gain for Tesla in 5 years. So 1,000, not a doubling, but a 10x. And I, of course, think that that's a very low estimate. And then he says he expects profit growth from Tesla to be 258%. I'm sorry, John Ehrlichman said that. He was expecting profit growth in the next 5 years at 258%, and Tesla and Elon said 1,000%. Then on March 11th, he says, in support of the policies of the president, Donald Trump, and to demonstrate our confidence in the future of the United States, he committed to doubling vehicle production in the next 2 years. So vehicle production right now, as we know, is about 1.8, 1.75. So doubling would be to 3.5 million in the next 2 years, meaning by the end of 2027. I think that will be easy. Alexandra Mers finally has this one in her list here. Elon says the Tesla factory, especially our next-gen Cybertruck line, is the product. The factory is the product. That autonomy and Optimus are what matter. So the ability to make anything in a factory, the ability to build factories quickly and to build product quickly and to be a low-cost producer is what it's all about. And that, of course, goes back into my other narrative about solar. There will be a special video soon about solar that you do not want to miss. So keep aware for that. I think Elon is going to build a gigafactory for solar, and I think it will be amazing. It will be the lowest cost producer in the world, and I'll tell you why in an upcoming video. By the way, this is, in case do you know who I is? Well, I is Randy Kirk. I'd like you to hit the like button if you don't have, if you're not crippled or having other problems with your hands and arm. If you could, I know a lot of us are. I've got shoulder issues. I mean, you might have worse. Anyway, hit the like button. And oh, yeah, you could also subscribe. That would be fantastic. We did pass 30,000. Thanks to all of you for any contribution you've made to that. Just watching from time to time, watching to the end or past 7 minutes is a real help to the channel. I don't know if you know that. It really helps the algo. Pressing like is a help to the channel. Subscribing is to help the channel. Commenting is a help to the channel. And then the biggest help that you can possibly give to the channel is to become a Patreon member, or you can subscribe now on X if you'd like to subscribe there. That's $2 a month, by the way, on X. It's $3 starting here, so it's a good deal on X. I am going to start doing something special for people who subscribe. I just haven't decided what. We have other announcements coming too, and that might include something special I'm going to be doing. All right, so we have got NVIDIA this morning hitting an all-time high and hitting what? Oh, 4 trillion in market cap, 4.05 last time I checked. First company in history to go over the 4 trillion mark. You may remember several years ago, Apple was the first company to go over the 3 trillion mark, and now NVIDIA is over 4 trillion. Not likely done yet. Copper. Okay, so copper, the interesting story on copper. Trump yesterday said he was going to impose a 50% tariff on copper. Now, the only reason you would do that is to encourage domestic production. I haven't taken a super deep dive yet, but I've taken a dive. I've taken a look. I've been trying to figure it out. And what I'm hearing is that we don't have a lot of copper mines, and maybe we don't even know about copper capability here in the United States. And the copper mines in the United States are not likely to be able to produce a lot more, maybe. But that's the beginning. I haven't even asked Grok yet, but based on a couple of articles, that is the concern. And so people are wondering, because this is not official yet. He said he was going to do it, but he hasn't done it yet. Will he change his mind? Well, the copper price jumped yesterday, but it's off a little this morning, maybe because people are going, maybe he's not really going to do that, or maybe not by 50%, or not 100% sure that this is going to actually happen. We have Trump today down a little bit again. So he was at 53% approval just a few days ago. Now he's down to 49%. I don't think that's very surprising. There's been a bunch of stuff that have been pretty controversial. Let's see. There would be the big, beautiful bill. That was controversial. We got it so controversial that Elon Musk has started a third party. We've got the Epstein files, which are pretty controversial. We got all kinds of Trump fans that are yelling foul, foul, foul. And so you can imagine that some people answering a poll right now might be going, well, I didn't like that very much. And then we've got, people that are complaining about everything else, even in the middle of a time when Trump is obviously the most obviously, clearly has done more in 5 months than any other president in history. And most of it, conservatives, Republicans would appreciate. On the other side, we got Democrats that don't particularly like to have the Trump ICE department going into one of the most crime-ridden places I've ever seen, called MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, just east of downtown. I've been there many, many times, riding on the little paddle boats. Well, of course, I was a child then, but anyway, well, not a child, but very, very young. That was a place you took your girlfriend. But that was when the MacArthur Park was fairly clean. It's gone through ups and downs over the years, where it was okay for a while to go there, and then it went back to being crime-ridden. Well, right now it is a pit. It has got homeless all over the place. It has got fentanyl deals being done right there in the park. I mean, it is a mess. And the fact that the mayor of Los Angeles is concerned that ICE went in to make arrests there, pick your poison, pick your hill, lady. That place is horrific, and you should have been applauding, not complaining. Anyway, but there are people that are complaining about these ICE raids, and so that's probably going to weigh on Trump's approval numbers. Anyway, Trueflation out this morning saying down to 1.66%, dropping like a rock. AJ this morning had something to say about Trueflation. He says Trueflation is trash. He says, I tracked their data and they made massive revisions retroactively on weeks and months old data. He recommends to ignore them. Okay, if you've been with the channel a really long time, a year or so ago, year and a half or so ago, I started watching Trueflation and I was reporting daily as I am now. And I came to the same conclusion. So much so that I had them on the channel. I had them do we did an interview with them, and they promised they didn't promise anything. They recognized that what I said was obviously going to get in the way of their credibility, which is the same thing that AJ is saying now. So why am I following them again? Well, Cathie Wood and Powell. Now, I know you may not like Powell, but Powell says that he follows Trueflation. Cathie Wood says that she's following Trueflation. So Trueflation is doing some good things, but I do think that it's important to dig into the details of Trueflation rather than just taking this number I just gave you. But I'll do that for you. Now, maybe you do it for yourself. Great, go do it. But I've already done it this week, and I see the trends that they're talking about. And I think housing in particular is going to absolutely finish off it's absolutely going to finish off inflation this summer, by fall for sure. But housing prices are flat, if not down, pretty much everywhere. And the mortgage rates are not coming down. Therefore, I don't think we're going to get that bounce I predicted earlier. Now, some people just have to buy a house. Remember, I have a huge background in the real estate area, written 2 books on it, not under my brand. I wrote those books for others, but I've written 2 books on housing, know a lot about it. And so you might see a pickup in housing purchases toward the end of the summer because people have to get that house. They're just stuck. And interest rates are sitting around, or they were a couple of days ago, I haven't checked, about 6.6, 6.7. That's not horrific historically. So I think there'll be maybe a little better toward the end of the year, end of summer. I don't think we're going to see a pickup in pricing, though. I think maybe we've seen a stall, and in some parts of the country, they are definitely down. This is going to be the finishing, it'll be the final curtains for inflation, because that was what has been holding it up. I think part of the reason why housing prices are down is because of the cutbacks in government spending, the federal U.S. government spending, the cutbacks in employment at the federal government level, which has been now going to be exacerbated, or shall I say brought back to normal by the Supreme Court decision yesterday that allows the Trump administration to continue their firing of or laying off of people in the federal government. So that is going to impact housing. Those are high-paid jobs. And then we've got the immigration, or shall I call it out-migration of illegal individuals, and that's going to impact housing as well. All of that is going to have an effect on inflation. I think this is the final nail in the coffin. You're only hearing this here. I'm telling you, go ahead. Try to ask Grok. I don't know what Grok thinks about it, but ask Grok to see how many other people are talking about those issues. Hopefully, that's part of the reason you watch this channel, and sometimes I even get it right. Okay, we got the VIX at 16 this morning. We are talking about back to risk on for sure. Obviously, we've been lower. We've been 12, 11, but 16 is much better than it has been, and no indication at all that there is a risk component right now in the markets. And then inventories were down 0.03 as were expected. And as you know, I don't care about that, but maybe you do. So I thought I'd report it. All right, let's go ahead and look at where we are in markets right now. We had that big downstroke a minute ago for no reason. I couldn't find any news at all that might have been causing that. We're back up into the green on everything but Tesla. Tesla is down 1% right now at 294.81. That's about where it has been flattening out. I know we had as low as 288 the other day, but in terms of if you're watching the chart, 295 seems to be kind of the bottom, the real bottom. NASDAQ is down 0.4, I'm sorry, up 0.41, Dow Jones up 0.08, S&P up 0.17, and again, Tesla down 1.11. The market overall is heading down and to the right. We have got all of the Magnificent Seven up, except for Apple down a full percent. All the rest up quite strongly, actually. NVIDIA up 1.83. That might be a momentum deal after going through 5 trillion. And let's see, I was just going to look here. I'm sorry, 4 trillion. Oh, actually, it's below 4 trillion again, 3.97. All right, so then we've got the Cathie Woods are very mixed. Yeah, 100% mixed. No trend at all on the Cathie Woods. All right, let's go ahead and go over to Linda Yaccarino steps down as CEO of X. Look at that. I don't think that's why Tesla went down, but maybe Tesla would go down, but why would the whole market wouldn't go down because of that. Anyway, that is a breaking news. We'll have to dig into that later today. I'm sure we'll talk about that with Brian Wang when he's on today around California time, about 5 o'clock. We'll have that show. All right, let's see. What else do we got? We've got the bonds down this morning. Good. 3.8 basis points back to 4.379. Glad to see that trend. We've got oil down 26 cents. Good trend. To 68.06, though, still really, really high. Natural gas down 4% to $3.20. Remembering $3 as being kind of the bottom of that range. Gold up $3.79. I'm sorry, I just that all changed. It just flickered. It flickered. Gold flat up $1 at 3,318. Silver down 0.38 at 36.61. And here's copper off 287, but at 552. Remember, the high was 512 about 2 weeks ago, and then it went down to about $5, and now back up to 552 on that news. Okay, we have got the dollar up this morning, 2-week high versus the yen. Okay, we have got Bitcoin basically flat, also up $53 at $108,918. And that is all there is to report. All right, so what do we got coming up today? We've got Brian Wang, like I said, just said a minute ago, around 5 o'clock. Not 100% sure what's going to happen at the 7:45 hour. There will be a very, very good show at the 7:45 hour. I have about 3 choices for what's going to happen at 7:45, and all of them are amazing. I'm having to decide between and amongst them, but we'll see what happens. So you'll just have to watch. At some point, Jeff Lutz is going to be on, and that's a possibility of when it'll be. We're working on a big show together that's going to be amazing. Maybe one of the most important I've ever done. Again, I'm working on with Larry Goldberg, which is another specific and unique show on a very big topic that Larry's been working on for weeks. That will be coming up, but I'm not sure exactly when. So, yeah. Your guess is as good as mine is to tonight, but stay tuned for any of that. What else do I need to tell you about? Oh, yeah. Last night, it would have been Larry Goldberg and I had a great show, but I'll put that card up, and I want to put the other card up, which was the Brian White show. And what did we talk about? We talked about the questions that are most on my mind as we are 2 weeks away from the earnings call. I'll put that card up as well. We went through those questions. Brian gave me some answers. Some of them were even right. Okay, that's all I got for you right now. Oh, let's jump back real quick. Just take one last look to see which direction Tesla's going now. It is, oops, I got okay, still 1% down at 294.62. Okay, that's all I got for you. It has been great talking to you.